Hey guys, I hope you're all staying safe and healthy, getting all your work done. I figured for this week I would make some videos to kind of take you guys through. Some of you are catching on pretty quick, getting all your work done, but some of you are struggling a little bit, having a hard time maybe accessing some of the videos or just figuring out how to turn things in. And I wanted to make sure you knew that as I've been saying in the Google Classroom, you need to have signed in to Pearson Realize and make a username and password, and then you'll be a part of my classroom to be able to access everything and, for it all to connect from Google Classroom to Pearson Realize, and then you could turn your work into me. I've seen, for those of you that have done that, I've seen your work turned in, and therefore I'll be able to grade it from there. So I thank you for that. But so I wanted to kind of take you through in the book. This is the teacher book, so it's a little different from yours. But most of you should have your book at home, so you could be using the book as well as the website to to complete your work. So this is the section that we're going to be doing this week. It starts on page 456, and it's going to be from The Grapes of Wrath. The Grapes of Wrath is a book that was written a long time ago by John Steinbeck. It's just going to be an excerpt. Remember, an excerpt is just part of a book from The Grapes of Wrath, but it's just really focusing on what we've been talking about for the last couple weeks, how people overcome obstacles, which is our essential question. So, and also people facing adversity. So the people, the farmers, back in the 1920s and 30s during the Great Depression, they had to make some big decisions that were pretty heartbreaking to their families because that was their way of making money, their farm, that they had to leave their farms and head to California because of all of the drought and the dust storms and everything that you read about last week, and try to make a life in California where that stuff wasn't happening so badly there. So the Grapes of Wrath is kind of just like a little connection that kind of goes after the Dust Bowl. So if you were paying attention and you were watching the videos and stuff that I posted, then, this will make sense to you. So I just wanted to kind of show you. So if you were using your textbook, then you would have seen that back a couple pages was where we were doing the Dust Bowl. All of the stuff that's on these pages is also found on the website. So the stuff that I assign you is actually these pages. But if you have your book and you prefer to see it in the book as well, then I really strongly suggest that you keep the book next to you while you're working. So this is where it starts. I really want you guys to be doing all the different sections within the Grapes of Wrath section. So when you go in your book, everything that you see in that section, I'm expecting you to be completing. So for this week, it will be from page 456 to page 465. Pretty much all of the things that are in there is what I'm expecting you to be completing. There's a lot of things in there, so if you are able to turn it into me through Pearson Realize, you've figured out how to do that, then by all means, please do that. It makes it much easier that way for you and for me to see all the work. But if you're struggling with that and you like it better to open a Google Doc and send it to me that way, that's fine as well. But I wanted to kind of focus on, if we were in the classroom, we would be really like reading all the parts so you can kind of see on the side. It has like different questions and stuff, different things to be focusing on. I want you guys to be reading that stuff. Here's the vocab. We would be reading the vocab. You guys would be looking these words up, making sure you know what they mean. Sometimes we put them in a sentence. Like if you're really trying to get the most out of, your education for the rest of this year, then I'm strongly suggesting that you do all things that are within the, section that I'm assigning you. So here's the words. And then here's the excerpt. It starts the Grapes of Wrath excerpt right here. Focuses on the words as well. Got the definitions here. And then, when we finish the stories, we then answer the comprehension check questions. So there they are on page 461. And then the next page has close read the text and analyze the text questions. So you guys know that we always focus on these, and these are the questions that I expect you to answer. You know, they're like short answers, but not just one quick little response. I want to see a couple sentences there to respond. So what story details reveal that these characters are farm people? And then interpret, what is the general attitude of the characters? How can you tell? You know, make sure you are restating the question and answering it in full detail. And analyze, why do the characters burn their belongings at the end of the excerpt? And then the essential question, how do we overcome obstacles? You know, it always connects with the story and the essential question there on the last one. So then it moves along, talks about theme up here, setting, you know, makes connections for you. Practice, talks about the setting of the story, cultural and historical content, asking you questions. What parts of the character's environment have the greatest impact on their choices? Characters' actions. How do men and women in the excerpt respond differently to their situation? So answering all these questions is showing me that you fully understand the text and that you're really paying attention and doing your work. And this is what I'm looking for when you turn in your work. I want to see that you've actually, you know, taken the time. You have a full week to work on this stuff. So I think the amount of work that I'm giving is not too much for a whole week. And then turn the page. Some more stuff on vocab, concept vocabulary. They show the words again. Some more questions about vocab. Some questions about word study, talking about suffixes and prefixes and saying write your own sentence that correctly uses the word ruthless. Just practice on these words, you know, just to make sure you know them. Author style, talking about word choice and imagery that you might see within this section. Practice down here, you know, using the vocab words to put them in the middle of a word web. All this stuff. It tells you reread paragraph 7 of The Grapes of Wrath. Use the chart below to show 3 examples of Steinbeck's word choice to describe the horses. And then here's a writing assignment, writing to compare. I don't need you to give me a whole long essay, but I would like you to respond to the assignment. It's saying write an argumentative essay, but I would be very happy to see 2 paragraphs. And all of this that I'm saying right now will be in your agenda. So make sure you refer to the agenda for all of the things that you're supposed to do. And then respond to these questions. So there is a lot of stuff in here, but again, I don't think it's too much for the week. You won't be seeing too much more than the stuff that I'm showing you right here. You know, I'll probably put in some figurative language worksheet or 2, but I also want you to be watching the videos. The videos are really important because it gives you that connection to the story and to, you know, the text and, you know, the concepts of what I'm trying to get you to understand. So everything that I'm assigning, I'm, you know, expecting that you guys are watching and completing. And that's where I'm getting your grade for the end of the week. So hopefully this is helpful. I'm going to do another video to show you a little bit on the computer as well.